الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. My dear brothers, welcome to our live call. Alhamdulillah. Today we're going to be talking about how to spot a narcissist woman before she destroys your leadership, your deen, your sanity, your life. Now, when you hear the word narcissist, what comes to mind? What do you think? What's in your. Usually, we hear this word being used against men. Why? It's because society has convinced people that it is mostly men who are narcissists. They're manipulators. They're evil. It is really a stance that's been accepted quite widely, believe it or not, even though there's no evidence for that. Actually, I would argue that there's more evidence for more women being narcissists, and we're going to see how and why. So, first of all, what does the word narcissist mean to you? What comes to mind? Think about it, reflect. Have you ever felt confused speaking to a woman? Like you question yourself more and you were like, what is going on with this woman? Like, why is she not hearing what I have to say? Why is she making me feel the way I do? Why is she attempting to change me and to manipulate me, even I'm not even married to her? Have you ever been, have you ever thought about psychological manipulation in marriage? Have you ever been able to think about what would it be like if you marry a narcissist who is going to cry all the time and make you feel like you're the bad person, who's going to victimize herself, even though she might be slapping you, scratching you, spitting at you, and swearing at you, and totally disrespecting you, which is very measurable behavior. Yet when it comes to speak to this person, they will say, "Oh, it was my hormones. Oh, I was angry. Oh, it's him because he doesn't give me time. It is his fault. It's not me, really. It's his fault." Believe it or not, guys, my brothers, I spoke to one of those women today. Okay, clearly, I held her accountable. Her husband was there, and clearly she swears at him. She calls him all kinds of names, disrespects him, even though, mashallah, this guy has given her a life that many women would dream of. Okay, in terms of cars, houses, lives. Like he's a very wealthy brother. And when I spoke to him, she said it's his fault that I disrespect him. She admits that she disrespected him. She actually admitted. She didn't say, "No, I don't do that. He's lying." No, no. She admitted it. Yet she said it's the man's fault because he doesn't. Her first point was he doesn't give her time. The second point was that he makes her angry, and she was angry. The third reason was that her hormones. Okay. All these excuses are a sign of narcissism. No accountability. Now, most men will experience some sort of psychological and emotional manipulation with the current modern woman. There was a time where women were afraid of experiencing psychological manipulation with men. I would say that time those tables have turned. We live in a time now where most men are getting into marriages and they will experience manipulation. They will experience a narcissist. Now let's look at the Islamic foundation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 204, and amongst the people are those whose speech please you in this worldly life. And he calls to Allah to witness what is in his heart. Oh, I'm good. Oh, my heart. I'm such a good person. For me. Yet he is the fiercest of us of opponents. Yani, if you look at what they say, and there's another verse that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I think it just popped into my mind right now. Let me just make sure that's the correct verse. Yes, here it is. Chapter, actually same. So it's just two verses later, subhanAllah, I wasn't even aware. But it is basically, it goes, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُ اتَّقِ اللَّهِ أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ بِالْإِثْمِ. Okay, and when it's said to him, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُ اتَّقِ اللَّهِ وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُ اتَّقِ اللَّهِ أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ بِالْإِثْمِ. Yani, when he said to fear Allah, pride, عِزَّة, بِالْإِثْمِ. Okay, by his sin now he gets proud. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says? فَحَسْبُهُ جَهَنَّمْ وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ وَبِئْسَ الْمِهَادُ. Sorry. Okay, so yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that one of the signs of these type of people, you tell them fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what do they say? They basically tell you, who do you think you are, man? Are you talking to me? Do you not know who I am, how good I am? I'm actually this and this and this and this and this and this. I'm this and this and this and this and this. For women, this is the modern concept of when we tell them, sister, don't dress like this. Oh, why are you judging me? You don't know my heart. Sister, this hijab is not correct. Why are you judging me? I'm better than other women with hijab. You tell your wife, hey, don't dress this way. Oh, you're manipulating me. You're controlling. Do you see how they twist it? And a lot of brothers fall for this. A lot of brothers actually believe what these sisters say. You telling her, hey, don't wear makeup. Hey, this friend of yours is not good. Hey, this and this and this and this. She'll tell you, oh, you're just trying to hurt me. You don't love me. You don't accept me for who I am. Right? Starts manipulating you. Or their favorite word, which is gaslighting. Oh, he's trying to gaslight me. Yani, you're telling her, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُ اتَّقِ اللَّهِ أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ بِالْإِثْمِ. And it's told, yeah, fear Allah, don't dress like this woman. Don't wear this makeup. Don't act like it. Don't have these kind of friends. Don't. Right? They get all pompous, especially the sisters online. SubhanAllah, you make a video exposing them and saying, hey, don't do this. Man, they will lie, twist it, victimize themselves, you name it. They will do everything that's in their power to victimize themselves and to twist it and to make you look like some bad, especially like if you're a little bit of knowledge or dawah bros, these dawah bros. This is textbook narcissism, okay? But I want you to remember these, especially this verse. This is a litmus test. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُ اتَّقِ اللَّهِ أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ بِالْإِثْمِ. When it's said to them, fear Allah, then they get overtaken by their pride and arrogance of their sin. All right? I need you to please remember this. Now, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about charm, religiosity, and speech, but inner corruption existing together. See, these people, it's not, of course, if you say Qala Allah, Qala Rasul, doesn't make you a narcissist. That's what they'll say to men. You guys are quoting the verses and the hadith of the Quran to show, to manipulate us, to use this, to destroy us. You are using this as a religious shaming. Yaqi, but the brother is saying, dear sister, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what you're dressing and what you're doing. You're posting yourself online. Everything is showing. Yes, you have some material covering, but that is the concept of kasiyatun ariyat. They're dressed but not dressed. They're naked. Ma'ilatun mumilat. They're always like, again, this thing really gets me going when they do the thing. And I'm sorry to make these because this is not, I'm not trying to imitate women, but so you understand these kind of uh, behavioral displays. They do like the victory side, and then they do the duck lip, and they do this, like this or this. All of them, the kuffar women, the Muslim women, and they do their like flash their extra eyebrows and eyelashes. And then they kind of they bend the knee to the side on the top, and they carry some little bag or something. And in these videos, in these posts, plenty of people send them to me, including a lot of women, tell me, like, look, tell these women to stop doing this. And I also tell the women, like, you tell them too. But they all curate all these posts. And when you tell them, ittaqillah, then what happens? أخذته العزة بالإثم. أخذته العزة بالإثم. They'll say, oh, how, look at you, you're judging me. You should have told me in private. Dude, you're making everything public. They start all these rational explanations as opposed to taking accountability. Can any of these women actually believe, really honestly believe that what they're doing is correct? See, so instead of saying, man, astaghfirullah, yeah, man, I'm like, they can see my chest, even though I am covered. Most of these women, people are like, oh, and look at what they're saying. But why are you looking? That's another manipulation of a narcissist, a female, right? Like, what do you mean? Why are you looking? It's all over. You can't not see it, and you cannot unsee it. They're tight abayas, even if I'm wearing a abaya, dude. Like everything is showing everything. Okay, so instead of actually saying, "Man, this is not right," why? Well, because of the ayah, because of the hadith of Kasiyatun Nariyat, because of Prophet ﷺ, because the Ummahatul Mu'minin, they will try to give you some twisting philosophy, some rational explanation to make themselves feel good, to make you feel bad, to attack you, and to twist you, and to grab all their minions and everyone else online to basically attack you and to shame you and to guilt trip you, as opposed to saying, Astaghfirullah, man. The guy, I mean, he's quoting Quran and Sunnah. So they've developed this, in a sense, it is a strategy to push back, as opposed to taking accountability. They'll push back on turning the tables on the man and making him now standing accused of narcissism and manipulation and religious shaming. It's called the religious shaming card, using religiosity to push women down. But in all honesty and all logic and all rationale, here you have A. A is displaying themselves, showing, let's be very blunt, showing the shapes of their bodies. B is the haram of showing your shape of your body, which is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and many. C is the man. The man is not, he is not the author of the hadith, nor is he the author of this woman's actions. C comes on board, maybe a future husband, for example, or he's vetting her, or some sheikh or dawah bro, and he says to the woman, hey, fear Allah. Like, what are you doing? So all of a sudden, C becomes the author of B, who's pushing down on A. That's the story that they create. And now D comes in to support A and to hit C. Oh, you're this and this and this, and you're a narcissist. The deflection now and the divergence from A, which is the woman who is displaying all her things hanging out, all the folds. Clearly, you can see it all over. Okay. And they will shame you, guilt trip you, everything you can, except for actually giving you an evidence from Islam, such as you've used an evidence, a clear evidence that what you're doing is incorrect. They will, بالعكس, they'll give you philosophical, rational evidence that makes sense to them only. That's the only rational to them. It's not necessarily an actual truth. To make themselves feel better. Plus, D comes in for support, of course, to tell them, yeah, you go, girl. Like, this guy's a dirty dawah bro, and he should just lower his gaze. All right. Oh, yes, you should lower your gaze, but come on, man. Everyone's online. Everyone's trying to do something. And yes, these videos are being sent to us. And yes, these videos are destroying so many sisters and brothers. And yes, these videos have to be addressed because a lot of the brothers who are dawah bros, okay, they have their own daughters. A lot of the community has young daughters, and these girls are seeing these girls, these women, and they're getting influenced by. So someone has to stand to them. But do you see the progression of the argument of how they do it? Bottom line is this is textbook narcissism. My question to everyone is, well, who does it more? I'm not saying that there's no male narcissist, but who does it more? Who is in the mirror the most? Who takes the most selfies? Who posts their folds and their body parts more, even though covering their hair, supposedly? Who posts the makeup, the all the like again, the three main moves that I see is this one, and the leg up kind of thing on the side where the knee bent up. Okay, the heel kind of comes at a 90-degree angle, right? And sometimes a combination of two of those things. Muslim girls, non-Muslim girls, everyone just follows like a monkey. Okay, monkey see, monkey do. Yeah, there's some brothers who are always flexing themselves, but I mean, let's be honest. Well, yeah, it might not everything be, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I'll tell you why it's not the same. Okay, it's not the same because, first of all, men don't have the same value as women. Women always have an advantage in the sexual dynamics, 100%, and the power dynamics of seduction. And, well, while, yeah, a man can cause fitna, but it's never even close to what a woman can cause. And, yeah, while women can admire a man's body and his muscles, they're not going to feel exactly the same that a man when he admires her personal details. I'm not saying that one is zero and the other one's 100. All I'm saying is that one is just not like the other. And that's the rule in the sense, وَلَيْسَ ذَكَرُ كَأُنثَى, the man is not like the woman. And that applies on both sides, and we'll see that. The bottom line is this is textbook narcissism, what we see online today, because if you want to know as a man who is a narcissist, then you just need to look no further. All you have to do is just look online, and you will learn very quickly by, I'm not recommending this, but you will inevitably see it. Some of these sisters will come and they will actually give you some of these videos. Okay. So, um, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about when this corruption exists inside with religiosity. So, like, no, but I'm wearing hijab. And some of them will say Allah, and they quote Quranic verses, man, while they're showing their upper parts and their lower parts. Literally, I've seen it yesterday. Someone sent me a video. Oh, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you, and then he quotes a verse, and then everything's hanging out. Astaghfirullah, man. But, oh, my hair is covered, right? And then if you dare to comment and say, yeah, sister, come on, man, there's a big contradiction there. And that is one of the signs of a narcissist is contradiction. Contradiction. Okay, they always go against themselves, against the rules of Allah, but claiming to be so pious and righteous, quoting and this and that. Ah, and Allah loves me, and this. Is this horrible? Now, psychologically, and from an Islamic perspective, Islamic psychological, narcissism is, narcissist, one of the traits of narcissists, by the way, is that they are not confident. They're actually very, very insecure. They might look beautiful, everything's good, but they feel so insecure. Why? Because they're always comparing. They've believed society's deception that they need to always upgrade. Always. Um, they're always entitled. Always entitled. They believe that they deserve the world to bow down to them. And that's also reflected through their lack of accountability. They will not say, oh, I was wrong, or oh, you're right, I should stop this. They will bring all their minions to message you and to guilt trip you and to attack you and insult you even. But never will they take accountability, even though B has proven clearly that A is wrong. C was only quoting B. He has nothing. He didn't invent B. He didn't invent the Quran Sunnah. He didn't invent the Hadith of Kasiyat and Ariyah. He didn't invent these ahadith. But D will come in and accuse C of using religious manipulation. This is narcissism. This in itself is narcissism. And subhanAllah, emotionally, these people are so volatile and so manipulative that they can actually convince you that you are wrong. Even though you have a textbook clearly saying one, two, three, and you'll sit there scratching your head and be like, man, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. Maybe قال Allah, قال Rasul, clear, with context, with events happening the same in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. But the man was still sitting there like, what if I'm wrong? My God, maybe I did a mistake. The sister, the narcissist will never be in that position, would be like, oh man, what if I'm wrong? What if I, no, the narcissist will never, ever have that emotional IQ or EQ actually. The narcissist has kibr, so he has the following four diseases of the heart. Kibr, which is arrogance. Ujub, which is self-admiration. Always like, every so many seconds, that's what they do. I need to go to the bathroom to check myself. Like, ask a woman how many selfies does she have? You can ask a man as well that. How many selfies do they take? And you'll find that a lot of them have over 500 and some even 5,000. It's very easy in a phone to see how many selfies you have. That can be used for men as well, but ask a woman how many times does she take a picture of herself? She'll say, oh, it's just for memories. Memories of what? Actually, it's just urgent, self-admiration. But it comes with self-doubt because you always have to check yourself. Oh, is my makeup okay? Did I gain a little bit of weight on my face? Oh my God, did he look at me because I'm fat? Always, always trying to have just, well, the basic very insecure and they have to validate themselves. And if people don't validate and don't compliment them, you will see that they'll misbehave with them. If all these women who are online, they do not receive a compliment, they will disappear, bro. But sadly, so many people compliment them, even though they're so fake. Because the narcissist never shows their true face. The narcissist will over cover it, always put a mask on. And what is makeup then? A mask. The next thing is dhulm. They always commit injustice. They don't take any sort of justice. They have to somehow, one way, manipulate, cheat, lie, this, that, deceive, but they will not do just, they'll not give you your rights. They will manipulate those rights, especially as women, they have this superior seduction, and sex never happens except if a woman accepts it, i.e., in a marriage, of course, they will do dhulm. And last but not least, of course, no taqwa. Even if religiosity is displayed, they're quoting hadith, they are quoting this and that. I asked Dean Buddy. By the way, a lot of these women don't actually read the Quran. They have no clue of recitation, nor do they know the tafsir and hadith. They never studied. They don't want to study. They just like to take small summaries and cliff notes from here and there, such as Dean Buddy or just ChatGPT. They've never actually gone into an in-depth study of the Quran. They don't read the Quran regularly. They might take a picture with the Quran in their little corner there with a nice little whatever they've made for them, but they don't actually study it. Now, narcissistic personalities, they need admiration. As I said, they cannot tolerate criticism. You cannot criticize them, bro, because they'll come down on you like hammer, and they want to always rewrite the reality. And let's use their famous favorite word. This is the word of narcissists themselves. Gaslighting. They love to twist and gaslight and turn it back on you. And they will drain you emotionally. They are social vampires. they're always going to want to message you. And if you don't respond, then you're a bad person. And if you don't give, and they always find some sort of problem to create because they cannot tolerate peace. Narcissists, because they're so emotionally volatile and insecure and psychologically challenged, they cannot tolerate peace. They have to make some sort of a problem up. Out of nowhere, on a Sunday afternoon, they will message you about something that you never even thought and it happened 10 years ago. And she never even thought about it, but they will because it was too peaceful. But maybe you didn't give them enough attention that day. Maybe you're busy, maybe you're working, and they will totally, totally ruin not your day, not your week, not your month, not your life if you're not careful. They'll drain you. They're social vampires. The Prophet ﷺ, as narrated by Imam Muslim, he said, ﷺ, the arrogant person is the one who looks down on other people and rejects the truth. This is the kibr defined. Now, what are the core dangers for brothers? And why is this ruining marriages? Well, you see, a narcissist woman will challenge your qawwam, but not with overt rebellion. It'll be covert. It's what's called mutiny. They'll find any strategy to basically slide in Trojan horse strategy. They're all nice. They'll give you what you want. Once they're in, that's when they attack, but they don't attack face on. Women don't have the ability to fight a man off, but they will use certain strategies, covert strategies, and they will rebel and they'll take it down. They erode your confidence through subtle disrespect. Women can just say one word. What do you mean by that? Oh, don't worry about it. But you heard it and she said it. And she'll just let it, she'll just put a seed in there, an inception, and it will destroy you. She'll make you feel guilty for leading. She'll call it manipulation. So, what is manipulation actually? Right? It is just a fancy term that can be used both for negatives and positives. Well, believe it or not, how do you make the distinction? Because it's mostly used for positives. See, by definition, a qawwam is a manipulator because he needs to guide you and show you and correct your behavior. If you change that word for control, even then it sounds pretty negative. But if you change that word for guidance, now it's positive. Would anyone argue with positive? Probably not. But that's what it is, though, because a man, a qawwam, he's going to have to guide a woman's behavior, especially when it is against Allah's rules. No hijab, makeup, male friends, wants to work, wants to dress the wrong way, wants to stay out late, all these. And he says, no, 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 no. These women go to the imams of today, some of them, and she said, this is what he does, my husband. And the imam would say, bro, come on, bro. Stop manipulating, right? Stop gaslighting her. Stop being a narcissist. Because again, they've been trained to just say these things. But he's only doing his job as a Muslim. So they will erode your confidence and they'll subtly disrespect you. They'll say, you're not a real man. You don't love me. You're this, you're that. Your performance last night was not so good. This, and they'll say stuff. I've seen things better than you. What'd you say? Oh, no, no, no. I was just saying, like, did you, no, 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 no. Don't, you were just hearing things. And that's not what I meant. That's how they do it. They turn every disagreement into your fault. They always victimize themselves. Okay, so it starts with you not wearing proper hijab as a woman or putting makeup on, and it'll end up with the man being manipulative, narcissistic, not confident, not trusting her, and so on. It's about you. I'm not wearing the makeup, you're wearing the makeup. They'll use emotional as leverage and not communication, and also they will use sex as leverage and as seduction to get what they want, either to give it or to hold it. Now, look, the key insights are this woman doesn't really want leadership. She wants control without responsibility. She basically wants to be the captain of the ship without having the responsibilities of a captain. She just wants to enjoy the leadership. But she won't do it taking it in the front leadership where everyone knows no, no. She mostly tried to operate from the shadows. And this is why a lot of men, they can't handle it. They become passive. They start doubting themselves, start becoming weak. They lose their decisiveness and they spiritually shrink. They become horrible. They stop going to masjid. They stop developing themselves. They become just a fat, lazy man who basically just sponsors the misbehavior of his wife. His wife is blooming. She looks, obviously, the filters and the makeup and the Botox and all that, right? All that deception, but it looks like she's blooming. And he looks like he's about to die. He prays on a chair. If he prays, his hair fell out already. He's just 42 and he's got a big belly and he is just so depressed. Okay. He was just psychologically dismantled. He didn't change after marriage. He was dismantled. Now, what are some early signs? Well, look, gotta be careful with the excessive charm, but no depth, right? They're very flattering, very flirtatious. Yes, brother. Small moves can drive a man crazy and let him forget his intellect. They mirror your values too perfectly, too much. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Of course, of course. They have watched our podcast. They watch what men want. They understand. The narcissist is very, very tactical. Yeah, of course, I want to lead her. Of course, I want to stay home. Of course, I want children. I want to be traditional. Boom. As soon as the knot is tied, who said so? There's no such thing. Sheikh so and so said I can change my mind. Boom. So be careful. They talk big about emotional intelligence, but avoids any kind of responsibility. The Prophet ﷺ warns against those who have tongues that are sweet, but their hearts are corrupt. Next, they always have the victim narrative. Oh, my ex-friends, my ex-proposal, my everyone's toxic. It's always the same story. They were so toxic with me. They abused me. They did this. They never, oh, I made a mistake. Or we all made a mistake. No. Oh, everyone misunderstands me. You don't understand me. They always speak abstract. My feelings, but you should feel me. You should understand me. You should feel my feelings. Feel what? It's abstract. It's very difficult to feel your feeling. Zero ownership. Everyone else is the problem. Everyone else. But she's actually the common denominator in every problem, actually. Now, they'll use religion as a weapon. Yes, men can do that, but women definitely can do that. They will quote Islam selectively. The Prophet ﷺ used to help his family in the house and used to do the chores and mend his own shoes and take this and that. The Prophet also was the best to his family. Da, 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 da. Okay, the Prophet ﷺ said this and that, take care of women and treat them kindly, and this and this. They only quote selectively. Well, yeah, the Prophet ﷺ also said so many things that I'm sure that if I quote them right now, women are going to jump on their heads, including that the majority of people in hellfire are women. And then went on to say as to why. And if anyone has a doubt about the hadith, there's plenty other hadith that corroborate this hadith on the same topic. Okay, female disrespect and denial of blessings and. I see they always want to quote that, and they might even question that hadith. But when it suits them, they will quote what's good for them. They'll talk about drama and boundaries, stuff, and they'll do all kinds of things, but rarely will they actually use correct evidence. They'll talk more about Sheikh so and so said this, and not to mention they will use a lot of these weak sheikhs as weapons. But look at this video. Sheikh so and so said this, and look, he was saying to the brothers that the brothers are wrong and the women should be taken care of. And why don't you let me go with my friends and dance? It's just a girls' night out. And the sheikh said their sisters should have their social gatherings too. They start twisting, turning, all kinds of things. And they'll use sheikhs, weak opinions, everything as evidence, but rarely do they actually use correct evidence to show the reality of what they're doing. And she's going to have discomfort with your authority. Look, she likes you until you lead. She likes you until you put boundaries down. It's okay as long as she just transferred from under her father's authority, who might have been a strict man, maybe not. And now she thinks she is going to be somehow liberated under you. And as soon as you set boundaries, she withdraws, doesn't want to give you intimacy, gets emotional, cries, accuses you of being controlling. And look, a woman who fears leadership will eventually resent you for having it and even try to remove it from you or take it into her own hands. She likes you until you leave. When you put boundaries, you will be called a narcissist, a manipulator, a gaslighter, a trigger, whatever. And you feel confused. You speak to her and you're like, bro, what's the heck is going on? Like, I'm confused. Like, she clearly did something that Allah talks about actually in the Quran. Yet she was able to twist me to feel like I'm wrong for actually telling her to stop. Chronic confusion equals to manipulation, guys. Okay? So be careful. And how do narcissists hijack compatibility? Well, they don't bond through shared values, shared goals, shared deen. No, no, no. They bond through intensity, especially seduction, trauma, fast attachment, and all like they try to love bomb me, oh, yeah, this and that, and then also guilt tripping and so on and shaming. Okay, so how to test a narcissist? You need to set small boundaries before the marriage, before during the vetting process. Test it. Set some small boundaries. Don't allow her to just walk all over you. Disagree with her. Delay a response. Lead the process and see how she behaves. Observe. Does she respect it? Or does she punish you emotionally? Does she withdraw? Does she talk to you in a way? Does she start accusing you and already showing her? You got to test her. Does she already show you her true face? A righteous woman may dislike something, but she'll respect. A righteous woman might be like, oh man, like she needs to get herself with it, but she's not going to disrespect you or try to twist it on you. Why do brothers miss this hard truth? Well, because of attraction. Attraction usually overrides discernment, overrides assessment. A lot of them are just very lonely, and that weakens their filters. Men ignore red flags because they don't have optionality. They're kind of like, man, I've been looking so hard and she's so pretty and I don't want to start again. Let me just accept her. So what happens is that they basically give up and they just leave it. And they're so scared of being alone and they're so desperate for intimacy and they just want to have someone and fall in love. As one of the brothers said, I just want to fall in love, man. I'm so tired of being alone. Crying, really, some people. But you see, you might be scared of being alone. You might be scared of not having someone, but you might let that lead you to make the wrong choice to marry someone who's going to slowly destroy your confidence, your deen, your life. So, last but not least, if you notice, for most people talk about narcissism, it is mostly directed at men. Even the men themselves, when they talk, it is mostly directed towards men. It's almost like female narcissism doesn't exist. I'm not saying that some people don't talk about it, but overwhelmingly you find it that it's usually directed towards men. And that's why I decided to talk about the female narcissist, because I believe there's more of those. Why? Because social media has allowed women to scale, to upscale at such a quick pace and such a huge level that men, well, let's be honest, men are just not that on that level like women when it comes to what you can scale up and what you have in terms of what the other or the opposite gender desires and needs. To put it in quick terms, men are not as attractive as women. Men, women don't want from men so much as what men want from women. So women have an advantage. That's why they're able to scale up. And because of that, they've gotten so much attention, and attention spoils. Attention now wants validation. Attention spoils and causes narcissism. And when a woman has so many options, the infinite option, it's an illusion of infinite optionality, they get really messed up psychologically and they become narcissists, where now they think that the whole world surrounds them. And if they don't get what they want, they will take you down. Trust me, or they will definitely attempt really strongly to take you down. Whether it's in the pre-marriage vetting, and let's hope it is then, and let's hope you can find out early enough and you're willing to walk away and not be desperate. Because once you have committed and the plane has taken off and she now causes mutiny and she rebels, well, then she will either take over your plane or crash your plane. But there's no third option. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and give us tawfiq. Barakallahu fikum.